morning. It's Mayor Guillermo Nurse here reaching out to you on the eve of election 2025. I use this opportunity to give you a little bit more rundown on my trajectory, my stay, and what made me a resident leading to mayor of the city of Oxford. I moved to North Carolina in 2010, late 2010, early 2011. We purchased a home here in Oxford, and when I got here, I found a city that was totally divided and in all aspects, socially, racially, straight across the board. With my military experience, that never was a problem with me. So I immediately was introduced to some members of the community, especially the downtown area. And at one time, I believe I was one of the only African American Black person here in the city downtown. I then proceeded to meet everyone in every walks, every aspects of life, and became a friend to everyone just about. I fast forward in 2023, 2022, I was approached by running to be mayor for mayor position of mayor of the city. I was hoping that I run in 2023 for commissioner, but that went from commissioner to mayor of the city. And if you look at what has happened since I took office, we're no longer considered a divided city, whether socially, racially, in any means you can put it. We're now looked at as a city that's diverse and all inclusive. If you look to events that we just had, look at the recent event past Friday and Saturday, you found a more diverse community. And in my first 8 years in this city, 10 years in the city, you never saw that. Oxford is a city that's moving forward. Now, my opponent and his team, they are determined to take Oxford back to the past. In the past, where Oxford suffered from the NAFTA trade agreements, all textile and mills disappeared out of the city. But one thing moved in: the drugs, prostitution, and the crime moved into the region. There's only one common denominator that was in power that can do that. Eventually became two. My opponent did nothing to solve these issues in the community. And his opponent has been missing in action for the past 15 years here in Oxford. I came into office after a wonderful campaign, after the citizens of Oxford decided they needed change. They endorsed the change. I came into the office, no transition and nothing. If you look at the office, you've seen what happened in the White House and both administration Trump and Biden. There's been numerous cases where documents that should be stored in the city have disappeared. That's the situation I have in Oxford. Every piece of paper was left. Not even a piece of yellow sticky pad was left on the desk when I took office. But that did not stop me. We decided to keep moving. I put a team together. I joined with the board of commissioners, and we decided we were going to move Oxford forward. Not having the knowledge of the transition that informed us that we were going to experience problem with water and sewer problem that we were told we had and everything was good to go. We experienced that. We could just panic and say, we're in trouble. No. The board of commissioners, we gathered together, put our thoughts together, and we resolved these issues. The Meadows was crawling. They had started construction, and they were creeping because they could not get anything done. The Havens was about 95% completed and was not given permission to open for one simple reason. They never had a turning lane on the project. They never required it. And there were some water lines that are made out of ceramic water lines underneath the pavement that should have been replaced years ago if you had a development going there and not wait to penalize the contractor, the developer on these issues. But we went in, we found solution. we got the developer and the Havens to come to the table, and we negotiated and got everything done. The Havens is open. If you don't know it, the Havens is a apartment complex for a senior citizen, for anyone over 55 years that been for years were paying rent for $1,500, $1,600 from their fixed income, basically from Social Security and their means of getting money to pay these things. Now they have somewhere decent, safe, and well attended at the Havens. Hatcher Creek and other projects, we had obstacles that was hours away from becoming a cattle farm. The board got together, we resolved that. We got with the developer. Hatcher Creek is thriving, and it's one of the most noticed construction in the region, which made Oxford become a very notable and recognizable city again. Again, taking Oxford back in the past. A vote for my opponent is taking Oxford back in the past. My opponent has nowhere to go. He goes nowhere in the city. And he's being pushed by individuals who want to take control of the city. You'll see in my social media, I say nothing negative about everyone, but there's all this stuff negative. I've worked in the city. I was part of the group that created the first Christmas gala event. Got no recognition for it. I never asked for recognition. They never mentioned our name as part of the team that put that together, that sat in the Orpheum one night and said, we need to do something here. You know who was taking all the credit for itself. And we continue to push forward. When we asked why Hispanic heritage was not recognized in the city, the first thing the mayor at that time told me there was only 2% Hispanic voters in the community. So that was not enough reason to Hispanic heritage. That's a shame. That's, to me, that spreads separation and doesn't make anything to do with the diverse, inclusive cities here right now. Juneteenth is another program that came up, and I think we're going on the third year of Juneteenth. The first year was done by yourself, no support from the city. The second year and the third year, yes, we have supported. We've helped with some financial aid, and we've helped everything we need. Sponsoring, getting out there, walking the street, and making sure people know there's a Juneteenth event in the city. Culture Fest was stuck back in the Little John's parking lot. The first year when I was not on the board yet, and they approached me how they could revive that event and make it an event full of life. And I said, first you got to get it off of Little John and bring it up on Main Street. The administration, the mayor at the time, said no to the Culture Fest organization. I got in office. Culture Fest team came back to me and said, Mayor, how can we make this a better event? I said, there's one solution. I can't dedicate the time to it, but I have the person that can dedicate it that. We got an event coordinator, an event planner, and local Culture Fest, the second biggest event in the city right after Hot Sauce Festival. It takes leadership, and we have those saying, I lack leadership. I lack understanding. You take a retired chief petty officer off the Navy that we trained the junior officers. Yes, junior officers. My opponent was trained by men and women in the senior enlisted academy and above in my rank to be officer. Our opponent, I believe, spent a year and a half in the Navy active duty because he was going as a lieutenant junior grade. Leadership, that's what it takes. You have to lead people. You have to unite people. If you walk the city, you'll see it united right now. How many times you go downtown right now, Oxford, and you see people you've never seen in your life? Every week you go down, there's new folks from the Meadows, Hatch Creek, Oxford Park, coming from all over. So I don't think we need to stop this. Stopping this progress, the step that Oxford has taken, is detrimental for the economy of the city. It's detrimental to the regional economy. As you see, Hot Sauce Festival brought in over $1.35 million to the region, never seen before, because there was never a vision. I'm not here to accuse anyone. I'm just here to talk the facts. You've probably seen some negative Facebook posts about me. Again, I have never responded to anyone negative. There's two persons in this city that are famous for having a negative campaign and slandering every community person, especially if they're of the Black community, and especially if you associate yourself or you participate in any event and work with anybody that you want to have a diverse and inclusive city. They come at you on Facebook. I've seen it for years. One of them ran for mayor the last election. I'm saying, Oxford, enough is enough. Let's stay united. Let's move forward. You go to the schools, I'd say 80% of every student in all 4 schools in Oxford know this man, see this mayor. I go down to town, I go in the malls, I go to Walmart, everywhere. The kids comes to me and say, this is our mayor. That's the person you want in this office. Someone that can put this community together, look out for the youth, because it's not all about me. I'm worried about 10, 15 years from now, 4 years from now, when a young man and woman who are coming out of school have a hope that someday they have an industry here in Oxford that can hire them, someone that can teach them, lead them to go somewhere, and not the community of the young generation. And when they graduate from high school, they disappear, never to come back again, because nobody gave them an opportunity. I don't push segregation. I don't push that at all. Those who push segregation and try to separate a people, don't listen to them. Look at the facts. Look and see you on the streets with you every day, everywhere. I know people on every street in this city. I stand for unity. I stand for progress. And I stand to move Oxford forward together. So I ask you, on this eve of Election Day, when you come out tomorrow, please vote for myself. If you're a younger generation, tell your parents why they need to vote for me. I have so many young guys came back from the university in the last 2 weeks just specifically to vote for me. They drove back home. And young kids, Black, white, Hispanic, took vacation on leave from the military and voted this weekend. That's what we want. We want to see a city as united and a city that's all-inclusive for everyone. And I want to say one last thing. The LGBT community, they keep you guys apart. They don't want you involved in the city. But guess who's been there with you? I've been there with you. I sit with you. I talk with you. I bring you in town to do events. And we're going to keep doing that. So let's keep Oxford moving forward together. Thank you very much.
This program is being paid for by Committee to Elect Guillermo Nurse.